Okay guys, so this is day one of cloud computing infrastructure, and well, we'll go with the intros here. So my name is Sayyid Amir Shahzad, and I am your instructor for this class. So I have 15 plus years of experience. It's much more than that. I don't know why I don't add that here. So 15 plus years of experience in IT, and especially as a systems administration side of it. Back home I was system administrator in a university, and then here 9 years ago I came to Canada, and here I joined Scotiabank for 5 years as a contractor in the Windows infrastructure team, and we had their 85,000 machines and users, and it was spread across the globe. It is spread across the globe with lots of branches there. So we were handling this whole environment of Microsoft and Active Directory. It was all on-premises infrastructure, and so there we had Active Directory, Exchange server, that's for emails, BlackBerry server for meetings, conferences, and also we had Link server. And other than that, there were other Microsoft technologies like SCCM, if you have heard about it, System Center, Configuration Manager, SCOM, and then VMware virtualization. So lots of technologies that I had to or get to handle there with the team. So after that, I became a contractor. In fact, I was a contractor there as well for 5 years. And then when the project finished, then I go for different contracts there. I currently am a contractor as well in a company, and there I'm handling their cloud infrastructure. So it's actually called COW, or Condominium Authority Ontario. So there I'm a cloud infrastructure administrators. The designation is normally IT admin, but they're having all their workload and resources in the cloud, which is Office 365 and Microsoft Azure. Excuse me. So we're gonna go a lot in depth with the cloud related. So introduction to cloud, obviously, and then what is it, and how does it really work, why cloud is so much in the market, right? So we're going to talk about that. And my concept of a IT course is that it has to be hands-on, and it has to be job oriented. So this means that we should do the course in such a way that if we have to go to interview after that, we should really be ready for all the questions that will be asked by the interviewers who are about to hire you. So your concepts should be clear, your practical knowledge and experience should be as good as it can be within the time of the course. So more and more labs I want to introduce and add it there. So what I see in the contracts, what I implement in the contracts, IT contracts, I try to introduce that here in the colleges as well. So I do teach in other colleges in GTA, in Humber College, and well, here, and others as well. And what main courses I teach here also, it's SQL Server, which is the database server, Exchange Server, which is the email server, and then all the cloud courses. And here we normally go for AWS, which is the main or the top cloud provider, cloud services provider, or CSP, which we're going to understand, of course, throughout this whole cloud computing infrastructure course. So AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and Office 365. So that has become so crucial, and especially after pandemic, everyone's gone online. So many jobs out there are available for cloud infrastructure experts. So because of those job requirements, this course is really important. And I also try to push this cloud courses here in George Brown College, as I saw in the market, and a lot of demand for the cloud skills. So some of you may already have known some of the topics here, and we're going to go in depth anyway. I think I should mute all the mics. So guys, you can mute your mics. But yeah, any question is welcome always. Okay. So that was about B, and now we can go alphabetical on your side as well. And there are some questions that you can answer as part of your introduction, and that is your name. If you work in a company, then the company name, your job designation, and nature of work. Or if you're a student, then yep. Well, should just add R if you're a student. Well, you are a student, but is that it, or are you also doing a job or something? So obviously, I'm expecting everyone that you're just a student, and maybe you don't have any IT experience before, or maybe you have. So if you have, then you can just say that. Any certifications you have done already, because in the market, obviously the advanced diploma and degrees, these are very, very important, obviously, but more than you have to also have some international certifications as well, like Microsoft certifications, Amazon Web Services certifications, Office 365. That really gets you a better job, higher paying job sooner. So if you have any certifications or you plan to do that, and then how much hours you want to give as home study for this course, and what do you expect from this course? Are you a hard worker or a smart worker? That's just open question. So alright guys, so we can just go to your introduction with well, alphabetical. We can just go there. So there is Arif Razai there. You can come on mic and you can just answer these questions. So Arif, you're there? Oh, another mic. Oh, okay. So Damanpreet Singh, Damandeep Singh, sorry. So Damandeep, you're able to hear me? Okay, Dante Raynor.
Hello.
Yeah.
I am Daman here.
I'm here. Dante Rainer's here.
Oh, okay, yeah, Dante, go ahead. And then after that, Damandeep, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, Dante.
Yes?
So these are some of the questions about your introduction, so you can answer.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Dante Rayner. If you work in a company of that nature, I work at this company here in Bermuda. I'm currently in Bermuda, but I work at a company, a pension company. I don't have any previous certifications. I only am getting the one that I'm doing now.
Okay.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, it's just how much hours you want to give, and what do you expect from the course?
Daily, I would probably put in close to an hour or two a day from this course. What do I expect from the course? I believe that I'll probably learn more in a bit, so I can only answer that later. But I would say I'm both a hard worker and a smart worker. I, work smart and work hard.
Great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. So, yeah, Damandeep.
So yes, sir. So I work in retail as a supervisor, and right now I don't have any certifications, but maybe I will get the Cisco and the networking, some of certifications for the security as well. And for this course, maybe I will give 2 to 3 hours every day. I can give you, and maybe I will learn something. And for as a worker, maybe I am both hard worker and the smart.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Okay. So, okay, David says doesn't have mic on. Yes. Okay. So, David Steger. Sorry. Are you able to come to the mic? And Ethan McKay.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, hi. So my name is Ethan McKay. I'm just a student for now. I'm currently working towards getting my CCNA certification. In terms of how many hours I would spend studying in this course, probably at least an hour to begin with, and then depending on the workload of the course, maybe more, maybe less. I expect to be well prepared in cloud infrastructure terminology, how things work, just be able to answer questions in an interview that may come up, and I'd consider myself a smart worker.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Max Grossman. Max, you have mic. So, Masorin. Okay. And Nargis. Sorry.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi. My name is Nargis, and I have some experiences in programming language, like PHP, and with developing something like this, and about how to pay. I have no idea about that for now. And
Okay.
the last question, hard work here and smart goals, I think.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, Alexander. And Wayne says Mike. Okay. And River. And Tenzin. Oh, okay. No problem. Tenzin also. Okay, and Wayne says no mic. Okay, cool. Alright guys, so let's try to go ahead, and hopefully you're responsive, like with what's going on here. I'll be asking or I'll be giving more information about the course and how do we communicate online So it would have been obviously much better if it was in class, but it's not, and there are some limitations, but we'll try to make the best of it. Excuse me. So about this course, I'm going to be coming down to that as well. But day one normally is that I also talk about the career and what kind of certifications are in the market, or what kind of skills they really need in the market, because you're ultimately going for a good IT job there. During the pandemic, well, the economic activity is very slow, but IT jobs are still coming out. They are. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on other recruiter sites as well, like Indeed.com or Monster.com or TorontoJobShop.com and all other recruiter sites. And there's so many jobs out there. They do see your experience and they do see the certifications you've done, and there are hopefully internships out there as well. But try to get as much experience as you can, and if you already have some IT experience, then there are jobs. But what courses? First of all, the top certifications of 2020 till now have been that if you're a Google certified professional cloud architect, so this certification or the knowledge of the cloud services provided by Google, whoever is certified with that, that has gone great in demand. If you are a programmer, also have been a programmer, then this is even more better. But you don't have to be a programmer to be a cloud services provider expert. But a Google certification is the top, then AWS or Amazon Web Services certification. It has been AWS certification. Amazon is the top provider of cloud services. Its certifications value in the market is always in the top 5 from 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, 2020 now. AWS's certification is always making in the top 5 certifications. So the paid, top 5 highly paid IT experts or administrators there. Then there is a CISM, that is for Security Certified Information Security Manager, then CRISC, Certified in Risk and Information Systems Control, and then Project Management Professional. And then you can see the list goes on with excuse me, another AWS certification. And so you can see that the security certifications are a lot in demand, and it's never just one certification that you should be thinking that, oh, if I just do that one certification, I'll get a very good job, 45 per hour, 50 per hour, or more, right? So normally it is a combination of certifications. It's a combination of skills, right? But then, yes, you become an expert in one field. That happens when you have gone through a lot of IT environment related jobs, and you got a lot of experience, and then you build up on that experience, and then you do the security certifications as well. VMware, now I hope you may have gone in George Brown College with the VMware course as well, or virtualization course. So that is really very, very critical. Now guys, one more thing is that I do teach in other colleges, so I do provide certification material. If you want to pass any certification like Microsoft Azure certification, Microsoft Office 365 certification, or Google Cloud certification, CCNA certification, or any other certification, then I do provide certification related stuff, especially some sample questions as well. Now, if you are doing some certifications, you're pursuing some certification, and especially you must do the cloud certification. So all that material, all you need to do is just contact me on WhatsApp or on my email, and then I'll send you excuse me, the file for preparation of the exam or the certification, right? So ITIL Foundation for Change Management and Microsoft Azure. This is also cloud again. Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator Associate, very, very important cloud certification. So you can see overall there's virtualization, there's security, and there's cloud certifications that are, or these skills are in demand nowadays, right? So This is if you see that where there is the trend in the market, so topping certifications, this is the trend, and you should align your career objectives. What type of skills I need to learn to get a good job, a better paying job sooner in the market. So that's how you can align that, okay, these are the skills that are required in the market, how many I have and how many I will be going for. So any of those skills you need, let me know about the material, the study material and the exam prep material for these, and I'll provide you that. Just contact me and I'll do that. Excuse me. I'm in touch with the previous year and the previous year George Brown students and Humber College and other students as well, and whoever is getting good jobs, they are or whoever is trying to go for certifications. And then if you want to go for interviews as well, I can provide you some interview questions as well for that, so you could prepare not only for the certification, and also obviously you should do all the labs properly, really do in depth all the labs, repeat all the labs, and then you will be, then recruiters, online job recruiters will pay attention to your resume, and you need some sample resumes as well, then let me know. So not only that you should be doing the course, but then you should do all the certifications, or not all, whichever you plan to do, whichever are critical in the market, then let me know. I'll provide you all the resources for that. If I go further down, we'll be talking about the cloud and all, which are the main cloud providers. First of all, what is cloud anyway, and then which are the top providers, and what are the resources they offer, why all companies across the planet going to cloud, shifting their workload, critical applications to the cloud. So that's what we're going to discuss. But here, worldwide public cloud service revenue forecast. So obviously, those who are providing cloud services are really earning every year. They're earning more and more revenue there. This is in billions of dollars. And in 2021, those who are providing cloud business process services like financial applications in the cloud. I'm just saying cloud a lot and then talking about it. Basically, what cloud is somebody else's data center. Excuse me. Let me just give you a brief introduction, then we can go ahead with the rest of that career discussion as well. Let me just grab. I have the other screen as well where I am just dragging some links there. So when we say cloud and then there's cloud data centers. So cloud is just somebody else's data center, and if I go to images here, so you may have seen this diagram a lot, that these are just data centers which are just rows and rows of servers, or HP servers, Dell servers, or Blade machines, servers there. And servers are those physical machines that you can install operating system on top of that, or you can install hypervisor like VMware or Hyper-V hypervisor on top of that. And you can see that rows and rows and rows of thousands of physical servers there, or physical machines there. So if I go for Dell server and go for a picture, when we see a picture, it's always better to understand. And I'm sure you've already seen what servers look like, but these are this would be one physical server, and that's how it is looking like. So when we say cloud is somebody else's data center, and inside that data center, so that's a big building, huge building. It could be underground, it could be many stories high, but they have rows and rows of racks there. So HP server rack. So they have rows and rows of racks in their data center, and all those racks then have the rack servers available where you can implement or install or add these physical servers. So now Amazon has huge amount of data centers, and those data centers, we get to connect to those data centers. These are all the racks there, and then these are all either Dell, HP, or other physical servers there. In those physical servers, on top of those physical servers are hypervisors or a software that hosts virtual machines. So we remotely connect to somebody else's data center, and to somebody else's inside data center, we get connected to any of these physical servers, on top of which the application that we're trying to access, we connect with that application. So basically we just rent it. So suppose you want to use this particular server for 1 month, right? And you want to run an application on top of this server. So either you purchase your own server, or if you're a company, you would purchase your own 5 or 10 servers there if there were so many applications that you wanted to install, and then you would just run on top of that all the applications. But the costs related to that in your company is that, suppose this is your company's data center, so the property, this area, this whole hall here, that property rent you have to pay, the security for this hall you have to pay, for this whole room you have to pay, the administrator who is maintaining that, the contract with the suppose it's all HP servers, so contract with that, yearly contract with that, component contract with that, the virtual machine licenses, the operating system license, the application license. So huge amount of costs are related to maintaining companies' own data centers. So the companies thought that, hey, why are we having our own these data centers when Amazon has created their own data centers, and they are offering those data centers for us to connect and just run our application, run our virtual machine for 1 month, suppose, just pay the rent for using their physical server, and after 1 month when we are done, we just shut down our machine and we delete it, and then we don't have to maintain our own big data center in the company. That would have cost us like maybe $30,000, $40,000, $80,000 for different companies. Bigger the data center, bigger the cost, right? So instead of that, you start a virtual machine on Amazon's data center or Microsoft's data center. They are spread across the globe, right? So on top of those, their own data center, their Microsoft or Amazon or Google Cloud's data center, and then you just pay for the virtual machine that you're running. So you started a virtual machine here, and it's 0.0026 cents per hour. That's peanuts for companies. That's so less. And you don't have to maintain a full data center for your own company. You're just renting somebody else's data center's physical machine to run your application. Once you have done all your business, you've earned millions of dollars on that application, you delete your application and you say bye-bye to the data center guys, the cloud guys, that, hey, thank you for letting me run my application. I earned thousands of dollars or millions of dollars from that application, and now I don't need this, so thank you for letting me use your underlying hardware, the racks, the physical server. So the Amazon Web Services, which is the biggest provider of cloud services, is just offering its hundreds of data centers across the globe, wherever you are. Suppose you're in Europe, suppose you're in Asia, or wherever you are, you just remotely connect to their nearest data center or set of physical servers, and then start your virtual machine, create your virtual machine, start your virtual machine, put your application there, do some business on that application. Suppose you've been doing Bitcoin mining for now, and it's like whopping $50,000 one Bitcoin. So those of you who had Bitcoins like 10 years ago, or if your friends had Bitcoin, then wow, you guys must be rich right now. So anyway, the thing is that whatever you do with the application, you don't have to have the underlying hardware with you. You just connect to the cloud, pay them the hourly rent, which is normally some cents per hour, and that's it. When you're done with your application, so companies have actually shifted their virtual machines and their critical data. Banks have shifted their applications and critical data on the cloud after. Militaries have done that. Governments have shifted their applications to the cloud. So more and more cloud service providers or skills for handling all the workload in the cloud, those kind of skills are really required in the market now, that they really need to have those guys which really know how cloud really works, right? So that's why I intend to go with more and more hands-on labs there, so you could really understand that, okay, so that's how we create virtual machines, that's how we create users in the cloud, that's how we create storage in the cloud to upload thousands of files, terabytes of files up there. We need to know the underlying cost of that too. So, but when we say cloud, we should understand one thing. We are connecting to either Amazon's physical servers or any data center physical servers or Microsoft's physical servers or Google Cloud's physical server, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, right? And there are so many other cloud providers. So this is somebody else's data center that we connect to. We start our virtual machines, we run our applications, and then we earn from those applications. We shut them down when we don't need them, and we don't have to maintain all this underlying hardware because somebody else is doing that for us. So companies have saved millions and millions of dollars this way. Their data centers shrunk from last decade, especially. Their data centers have been shrinking, and then some companies say that, hey, we don't need a data center, right? Currently, I am working in a company that has no data center at all. They are simply on Microsoft Cloud right now. All their virtual machines. Now, these data centers are here to stay, right? So you can just do pay as you go. Like you have started 20 virtual machines. There are very critical applications running on top of those virtual machines, right? And you want to keep them running for next 5 years, 10 years. Either you can do a contract with them. Okay, I want to run these machines for next 20 years. So how much is the cost? Since you commit with them, so they will give you very less cost, or on demand, as long as I start my machine, keep my machine starting, virtual machine started, so please charge me. Whenever I shut down, please don't charge me. So it goes down to that kind of. Now they have set up, Microsoft have set up those servers, those data centers. Amazon have set up those servers and data centers. So now they are just waiting for us to remotely connect and simply create our virtual machines and run our applications and do business with them, pay them, and then whenever we want again, we can log in and connect to them and pay them again, right? So the first thing from the cloud, whenever we talk about cloud, you should understand that, okay, these are somebody's data centers and physical servers on top of which we can create our applications, our virtual machines, right? Then there is another site here, infrastructure.aws. So if I go to infrastructure.aws, I'm gonna copy and paste that link here in the chat, in the WebEx chat. You can see that too, and you can open that too. So there's a full now AWS or Amazon Web Services. Now this company started this cloud services concept that hey, how about we create our data centers across the globe here, and then we let others just simply choose our machine. So if you click on top of that, I'll go back here. Oh, infrastructure.aws. So there's a see how we do it. There's a button here, right? See how we do it. So you can also just open on your side, and if I click that, so it takes you, and then it tells you that you can just revolve that globe, and wherever their data centers are, those locations are shown here, and they are spread across the planet. So this is the same case for Microsoft Azure, which is also cloud services provider, and Microsoft's data centers are spread just like the Amazon Web Services data centers are spread across the globe, right? So if I just move this globe, then I'm on North America here, and there's Canada Central, there's US East, there's Ohio, North Virginia. So these are all called regions. Regions are a huge physical area there. So suppose I go for North Virginia here in North America. So there's, if I click that North Virginia, so it shows that this is a big physical area. It could be the size of Ontario, it could be the size of GTA. So they first choose a big physical area, and they call it, okay, this, we will call it North Virginia region, right? And these are all data centers. These are actually not data centers. These are, we call it, they call it availability zones. What is an availability zone? First of all, what is the region? Okay, a larger physical area where there are availability zones. Okay, but what is availability zone then? If I click on any of those, so if I click on the left side here, availability zones, so these are smaller physical area. So suppose this is this blue circle here, and this blue circle, this blue circle, this, and the other one. Those are availability zones. Okay, what is that? So availability zone normally is a collection of 2 or more data centers, right? 2 or more data centers. So there could be 5 data centers here, and we talked about data centers already. We saw data centers. How does our data center look like? In fact, we didn't see that. How does a data center outside look like? So I'm just gonna go for suppose data centers. Well, they just look like buildings, right? They're just big buildings. That's it. Okay, AWS data centers. But just wanted to show one more thing here. So the data center buildings, buildings. So yeah, simple buildings, right? But these are really very well secure buildings. In fact, as if they were Pentagon buildings there, or military institutes there, or banks there. So the way they secure that, so obviously they have very good security and state-of-the-art security there, physical security as well as virtual security, cloud security, internet security there. So these are all the simple buildings that look simple from outside are actually data centers, and how those data centers are connected with each other through dugout, fiber optic lines there that they are connected. And so when we talk about data centers, okay, so these are some buildings that look like this. And if I go back to that map here, so first of all, we saw that, okay, regions is a big area, which is a collection of availability zones. But what are availability zones? Oh, if we go to availability zones, so availability zones give customers the ability to operate production applications and databases that are more highly available, fault tolerant, and scalable than would be possible from a single data center. So it's the availability zone is a collection of data centers. So there would be, in this availability zone, could be a size of Greater Toronto area, maybe, right? GTA. It could be one data center in Toronto, and then the other data center is a nearby city, which is suppose Mississauga, right? And the third one is a nearby city like Hamilton, right? So availability zone would consist of 2 to 8 data centers, right? So 2 to 8 data centers here in this blue circle, 2 to 8 data centers in this blue circle. So you can imagine that availability zone would be a big zone as well. It could be the size of GTA, and the whole region could be a size of a province or a state. It could be, or it doesn't have to be, but it's a big physical area where they have availability zones, and each availability zone has 2 to 8 data centers. So one data center would look like this. This is just one data center, right? So 2 to 8 data centers. So obviously the other data center would be a bit further, maybe hundreds of kilometers away, or few kilometers away from this data center, right? So if I go back to the diagram, 2 to 8 data centers in one blue circle or one availability zone, 2 to 8 data centers in the other availability zone, 2 to 8 data centers in third availability zone, and so on, right? And you can see that if you keep on watching this moving circles here, I think I'm afraid that you won't get hypnotized, and so try not to stare at those circles, otherwise you will be hypnotized very soon. Okay, I'm not trying to do that, just kidding. So here, these are the dugout lines that are connecting all the data centers. And obviously, so this means that Amazon would have spent millions or possibly billions of dollars to really get their own infrastructure. These are their dug out fiber optic lines that are connecting one availability zone to the other availability zone, that is connecting one Ohio region to the North Virginia region, right? So this means if they have dug out their own lines, they're not depending on the those ISPs there, internet service providers, right, or telecom operators. Here in Canada, telecom operators are what are Rogers or Bell. Those are big telecom operators, right? So they have dug out their own lines. They are connected with the ISPs and telecom providers as well, but they have dug out their own lines. That's a huge investment. If they want to attract the applications and virtual machines of suppose governments, of military, of banks, insurance companies, hospitals, so they have to tell them, Amazon has to tell them, hey, big companies, see this, first of all, check our security. It's the latest security that is available on the planet Earth. Second thing, we have dug out our online. So if you have one virtual machine or one application here in North Virginia, you can have its copy virtual machine created in Ohio. If there's an outage on the North Virginia level, then your virtual machine is safe here on Ohio region as well. Or if you put some data there on North Virginia region and the whole region outage happens, then your copy of your data is in Ohio region as well. And not only that, if I go for this and yeah, so I'll just drag this again. So you can go cross region, like you put your data in North Virginia region, and across the whole country, on the west coast you can have North California, your data copied there, or Oregon, you can just copy your data there. So your original data is here in North Virginia, and across the region, across the continent, your data copy could be here as well in another region, right? So, and you can have your data copied from North Virginia and across. Now these are all submarine lines, right? Underwater lines. So if I go for submarine lines, so you must have heard that before, but those are underwater cables that are placed, and so they are connecting the continents. So they are underwater cables that are connecting all continents there. So there are many companies who have dug out there under the sea. It's not dug out, they just put it on the sea floor, the submarine lines. And I would say lines, instead of that I will go for submarine cables. Yeah, so you can see that this is how the submarine cables on this ocean floor look like. And second thing, inside, how many layers are there, and steel rods are there, cables are there, and under that is fiber optic, very, very speedy net connection is there, right? And how do they put it on ocean floor? This is how a tugboat just goes ahead and first of all, obviously they analyze that there is no like Mariana Trench, there is no deep hole there that the cable would just keep going down there. So they just put it on the ocean floor, and that's how all the continents are connected with each other. And they then come down here. If they want to pull up the cable, so they put the balloons there. So all the continents are connected with each other they can connect from satellite as well, but that would be really expensive and slow. So submarine cables is the fastest internet connection between the continents that they can put. Okay, so okay, Chori says, what happens if there is a blackout on the east coast of the U.S. With copies in only North VA and Ohio? So yeah, if I go back to that map here, so there's a blackout there or outage cloud. So if one region or the whole west coast or whole east coast outage has happened there, so obviously your data would be across the region here. Suppose east coast and west coast both are gone, so if you have placed your data across the continent in Europe as well, then your data would be there. Otherwise you would wait for the Amazon Web Services to tell you that this is, there's an outage going on there and they are supposed to be responsible for your data. It's not like if there's an outage and their servers crashed, that they will say that, hey, sorry, we lost your data. So that doesn't happen. They are responsible for our data, and our data should be retrievable if it's their fault. But if later we're going to discuss that there are some areas where it could be our fault as well, and we are responsible if the data is lost. But we're going to discuss that throughout the course. If there's an outage on East Coast, West Coast, hopefully your data was on East Coast and you can access that. If both had an outage, then sit back and enjoy the show until they come back and say, hey, we're up and yes, you can access your data. So we're just sitting if we didn't put any copies. We did not download any copies, so we'll be just sitting there. David says, Ilvis owns its own underwater cables. Yes. Well, some, they are saying not all of them are their underwater cables. They do rent somebody's services and show that, hey, this is how we're connected. But you can see that from North California to Australia, they're connected, and from to Sydney, and from Japan and other continents or other countries, they are connected to Sydney, and then Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. So not all cables are there, but majority of them are there. They have invested billions, and yes, I think Jeff Bezos owns that, or he's the richest guy on the planet Earth right now. So if one person is worth that, so how much investment they would have done. So many of the cables are there, but not all cables are there. Okay, it's not that. Elon Musk, sorry. Okay, Elon Musk is, hi. So, okay guys, this is the infrastructure of cloud, basically, which I wanted to show. And this is just AWS. This is not Microsoft we're seeing, but AWS has shown it in such a way that we can understand cloud very easily. That, oh, okay, so what is cloud? Cloud is a big region, physical area where it is divided into availability zones. Inside the availability zone, across certain distances, there are 2 or up to 8 data centers. Each one data center holds 100,000 up to 300,000 servers. Each one data center holds 100,000 up to 300,000 of these servers. So each data center is also big, huge, right? So that's why you can see the buildings. One data center looks like this, and there are like maybe 86 or 100 or 120 data centers across the planet. So one data center holds 300,000 servers, up to 300,000 servers, right? So this is overall it's somebody else's data center that you connect to, and they charge you really less for putting your virtual machines, and they charge you per hour. It's few cents per hour. So for companies, that's not a big deal as compared to their maintaining their own data centers and giving their own property rent. So David says that's a crazy amount of data. My mind is too small to comprehend the cloud. Yep, compared to the cloud, yes, this is huge. This is why companies are the whole planet is crazily going towards cloud, because the cloud services providers have spent billions of dollars in making state-of-the-art infrastructure and they say that, hey, trust us, You want to check our data centers. Hey, banks, all the banks, come here. Bring your IT experts there and check our security there. If governments, military are putting their data here, obviously this means that we can trust the cloud services providers. But obviously, no, we're gonna go in depth and check it out as well throughout the course. That how secure are they? What are the world security standards that they are following, and how speedy are they? So not only that, are they secure, but can our applications work really fast? Now, hospitals would never afford, they won't be able to afford their application go down. Doctors are accessing that. Patient's record needs to be accessed. So when they go cloud, they expect it to work 24/7, 365. Not and this mean and they would just copy that data on different regions, and even not to take any risk, they would just copy the data to the west coast as well, or across the region to another continent, just to keep that data up and running and connect to it if there's an outage on the region level or maybe on the continent level. Their data should be accessible, right? And suppose you have customers across, suppose your company is in North Virginia or near North Virginia or in North America, but your clients are actually in Europe. So you would copy that data from North Virginia to London data centers, to Ireland data centers, Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Milan data centers, because your clients are here. So your clients do not need to connect across the continent to North Virginia when whatever data they want to access is being automatically copied across the submarine cables to the European data centers there. So European clients of your company can connect to their nearest data centers and download those files and then use those files, right? So regions, one cloud service providers is divided into regions, and those regions are divided into availability zones, just to further isolate the data, and then local zones, point zones, ground stations, networks. So these are all that we're going to go in depth with as well. I'm just giving you an overall picture of this is how it works. And availability zone have data centers. Suppose you have one virtual machine in one availability zone, you want the other virtual machine to be in a nearby availability zone. Why? Because whatever changes you're making in this virtual machine here should be copied automatically to the virtual machine that is on a nearby availability zone. If this machine goes down here, then all the data is also available in this virtual machine as well, and you can all connect to that other virtual machine. So you may want to put your virtual machines or data to a nearby availability zone within one region. This is the London region, which has 3 availability zones, right? Ireland region, 2 availability zones, 2 blue circles, right? And if we go to the North Virginia, I think there's a huge business going on, or maybe there are factories there, there's Washington DC there, New York there, so all the business zones and business hub is there. So that's why they have more availability zones inside North Virginia, right? And when we start our course and labs, we're going to select the North Virginia regions. Why? Because all the advanced features will be in the North Virginia region. I'm going to show you how to select a region and how to select availability zones and how to create virtual machines, obviously, and everything we're going to go through. Oh yeah. So David says in the chat, NSA, CIA, DoD, Department of Defense in North Virginia. Oh, okay. So if those guys are there and the whole business hub is there, then obviously good luck with your data. So whatever you save here is right under the eyes of NSA as well, which is pretty common. I mean, everyone knows already. So what is cloud? Cloud is just somebody else's data center, and they are divided into regions, availability zones, and then data centers. And that's the AWS has shown it the best way. Otherwise, Microsoft has not shown it this way with these diagrams. or this animated way. And if I click the global infrastructure here, then you can see first top tier is the region, then comes the availability zones, then comes the data centers under that, and then there are POPs here as well. This is point of presence, and POPs are those cache servers. If you heard about cache servers before, suppose you want to download a file, and sometimes you may have seen that option. Hey, you want to download from European servers, or you want to download from North American servers or Asia servers. So if you're in North America, you would choose North American servers, right? So POPs are those download servers. These are data centers as well, but their main job is to let the files be downloaded to your nearest data center or wherever nearest you are. So suppose you're in Paris, so whatever POP is available, point of presence is available near Paris, the files will be downloaded near you, so you can download from there easily. And so these are just cache servers. Cache just means to locally store a file so you could access it fast. So that's what the cache, or cache as they say as well, right? So this is the main diagram that really depicts that, oh, that's how the whole cloud works. Regions, availability zones, data centers. Okay, we get it. So this is somebody else's data center that you connect, and that's what we call cloud, right? So global infrastructure component, but this is AWS's cloud, then Microsoft's cloud is there, and then Google Cloud is there, Oracle Cloud is there, and then so many other companies are jumping in now because this is a big business. And by 2023, 80% of the world companies would have gone to cloud. Not fully, some fully. Smaller companies might go fully to the cloud, and bigger companies might go hybrid. Okay, what is hybrid then? We're going to talk about that too. But first is that introduction cloud. Hopefully you understood now. When we say cloud, what do we really mean by it, right? So, and the other good thing about this is that this is fun revolving that globe, right? So I could just go ahead and revolve it for 1 hour now. Just kidding. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about this. So I was talking about worldwide public cloud service revenue forecast. So when I was saying cloud again and again, I thought that, hey, why don't we just first talk about it? What are we talking about, right? So it's cloud we're talking about. So those companies who are offering this service, obviously if you're a $1 billion company, then you can create that kind of infrastructure across the globe. And after that, you just start earning even more billions of dollars, right? So that's just what it's showing here. And companies are going towards that. There are few companies that you will see nothing in the cloud because they're owners of those companies. CEO of that company might still be old school and might be still thinking, no, cloud is not safe. But since every company is there, so we are forced to understand the concepts of cloud services, and we need to become a cloud administrator, right? So not everything they are handling. If I go back to the diagram here, the underlying hardware, yes, we don't have to handle that now anymore. We don't have to worry about the physical RAM. We don't have to worry about the physical disk, and this all is gone. Yes, but there's a virtual server, there's a virtual processor, there's a virtual network card. Everything that you see physical here that you don't have to touch anymore is all virtual. So you have to still learn the virtualization technology, which is a must. You have to do that VMware course. If you have done that, you should do the VCP certification. If you need help with the material for that, I'll give you. Just contact me. And but virtualize, everything is virtual now, right? So yes, you don't handle hardware anymore now because companies have gone to the others data center. Others are handling their hardware. Above that hardware is the operating system, and above that operating system is that critical application that is running your company, that is earning your company millions and millions of dollars, right? So yes, you don't worry about the hardware, but above it, there's a lot to worry about. Those are the skills that we're going to learn from this course. and I would suggest that you do the cloud certifications as soon as possible. Your background is actually networking, right? So networking is a very obviously very important field, and in my in other college when I'm teaching, so those who are doing CCNA, you would know that CCIE is the top certification of Cisco, right? So CCIEs who were in the market and they were already having good jobs, they were coming to my class to learn cloud, to learn virtualization. Why? Because the companies are moving towards cloud. There is a huge networking portion in the cloud as well, but learning only networking will not be enough for you. Networking is a very crucial part of that, yes, but learning the whole cloud infrastructure, which is just running a virtual data center. So you need to learn all that, plus learning networking would be a very big added benefit for you. So what you're learning till now in terms of networking is very beneficial for you. It's gonna really get you, it will be added advantage when you learn cloud and you show those skills on the resume. Okay, so yes, CCNA is a must for you if you haven't done that. Minimum CCNA is a must, then CCNP, then CCIE if you want to pursue that field, and then go to virtualization, cloud virtualization. Cisco is also virtualizing anyway, so you're going to see that. Excuse me. Okay, so we were talking about this, that companies are earning billions of dollars, and yes, then it comes down to the big three. We're going for the top one. Our course revolves around the Amazon Web Services, AWS. This company introduced the cloud services providing, or cloud services concept, and then Microsoft followed, and Microsoft is the second best in the market, and then Google Cloud followed, is the third best in the market. So whatever we learn in Amazon Web Services, that how virtual machine works, how storage works, how networking works, how databases work, so those are the same concepts that its rival Microsoft also has, its rival Google Cloud also has. If you need access to Microsoft course as well, those who are interested can contact me. Hey, I want to actually go for, after AWS, I want to go for Microsoft Azure. Remember that in our GTA, in Greater Toronto area, there are more jobs for Microsoft Azure here. But this is the most important course still, because there are so many all big companies have AWS cloud there, right? And then as a backup cloud, they have Microsoft Azure. Some virtual machines and applications there for the company, and some of the virtual machines and applications there in Microsoft Azure. So they go multi-cloud as well. Suppose the whole cloud is not available, they would have its copy here in other companies' cloud as well. They can do that too. Okay, so that's a lot of information coming your way, but I'm going to be repeating that throughout the course, so you'll be comfortable with that. But the thing is, it's so critical now, and so many jobs out there that are looking for cloud experts. So it's very important to understand all this. Opportunity at the top, room to expand multi-cloud adoption. So many companies have adopted multiple clouds. So they may have AWS plus Microsoft Azure. These are rivals. They offer the exact same type of services, but the companies go for, multiple clouds. As I mentioned the reason before as well, that it could be, so 6 clouds. They also say 6 clouds. Now, what does that mean? What? We have 6 clouds? We have 7 clouds? I showed that there is Microsoft Azure, then there is AWS. It comes down to, when this is 6 clouds, it comes down to another question. Really? How many clouds are there? Like, are there types of clouds there? So if you go there, yes, there is public cloud, there is private cloud, there is hybrid cloud. And within that also, service types, there is infrastructure as a service. Oh, and what is that? Platform as a service. And then software as a service. So when we say 6 clouds, there some companies have 6 clouds. Okay, how? So they would have this infrastructure as a service cloud, or they would have platform as a service cloud, and definitely they would have software as a service cloud. Okay, now what are these guys? So just we must know that. That's why I'm dragging you towards that too. So infrastructure, just brief example of that would really get you clarified about infrastructure as a service. So when we were talking about this, right? So AWS's data centers across the globe. So we were talking about a virtual data center where we can do a lot ourselves, right? So when we go for virtual data center, okay, I'll try again. Okay, so that infrastructure service. First of all, what is that? So we're going to talk about that. Okay, I still use this primitive application, MS Paint. So infrastructure service, it's we can say first of all it's a virtual data center. Oh, hence the name infrastructure as a service. So it's a service provided to you, but it's the whole infrastructure. So what do you do in that inside infrastructure as a service? Well, we can create virtual machines. Okay, and that would be very important. Virtual machines. We can also create storage folders, right? So we can upload our critical hospital data, insurance company data, and all the other type of files and folders. You can upload files and folders, right? But with great security and high availability, disaster recovery, backups, everything. So other than that, we can create networks. Really? We can create networks, not petworks. It's networks. So create networks. You can create LAN inside your public cloud, like just like you create in a company. Suppose you are in a small company and they have like 30 computers there, and they say that, hey, can you connect them all together with Ethernet cable, with switches, right? And connect them to a branch router so they could connect to the outside world as well. So you can create your local networks in cloud as well. This is the whole virtual data center at your service on your fingertips. You can create as many virtual machines, you can create as many storage folders, networks, you can create as many databases there. And there's a lot of other services that you can do. So infrastructure as a service is for IT administrators. If you don't have any programming experience, if you don't have any database experience, then the third field is infrastructure. You take care of the whole infrastructure. You create virtual machines for the programmers, for the end users. You deploy applications on top of that. You upload files and make them secure and make them available. And you create small networks there where sales department wants to create 10 machines, marketing department wants to create 20 machines. So you create small networks for them, secure networks in the cloud, in their data center. So we're going to do all that. We're going to do all these labs, right? So we're going to try to understand that better and create databases so a lot of data can be saved inside. Now, other than that, there is PaaS, or platform as a service, where you don't have to worry about creating virtual machines and you don't have to worry about installing operating system, but you deploy applications. So this is for programmers that are deploying applications according to their and do customizations, right? So customization. So that is called platform as a service. So the more you go towards infrastructure side or programming side, or so the more you will go for PaaS and SaaS. So what is SaaS? First of all, SaaS is software as a service. So ready-made software available to be used. You just log in, you create a user account and you just log in. So for example, we could go for Office 365. So you don't have to install Office 365 to use it. It's just there. Just log into Office 365 and click MS Word, click MS PowerPoint, click Excel. So the application is just deployed already. You just you just start using it, right? So that is called software as a service. So when we saw on the slide that some companies have 6 clouds, so it could be that they have AWS and Azure as infrastructure as a service cloud. They have that, and they are using that, and also they're using Office 365. So that's another cloud, but that's a SaaS cloud, software as a service, where software is already installed. You may have heard about G Suite, Google Suite, which is the rival of Office 365. It works like Office 365, it's just cheaper than Office 365. And you may have heard about Salesforce.com, or there's so many other companies, Dynamics.com, Microsoft Dynamics, right? So those are the things that you need to do. Now, this is software as a service, which means that software is already available. You don't have to worry about underlying hardware. You don't have to worry about underlying operating system. That's it. The software is just available for you. So log in, start using it. That's software as a service, SaaS. So infrastructure as a service, this is where our course revolves around. And we're going to learn infrastructure as a service. There's so many jobs for that. The current contract that I have is for SaaS. That company has Office 365 as SaaS, and then it also has Microsoft Azure as infrastructure as a service. So they have virtual machines that they customize themselves, and they have ready-made software, or they have a lot of work going on in Office 365. So my suggestion would be that after you are done, you got your certificate, you got your degree, so go for certifications of Office 365 and go for certifications of Microsoft Azure as well. In fact, I'm about to tell that too, which certifications are hot in the market, or which skills are hot in the market. Some more, I'm going to talk about that. So there are so many jobs for that, and but we understand that, okay, infrastructure as a service is a virtual data center where we can pretty much do anything we want in terms of whatever we can do in a data center, like creating virtual machines, storage folders, create networks, databases, platform services for programmers, and they deploy applications. They build applications and then they deploy it, right? And then there is software as a service, ready-made software available to be used, for example, Office 365, G Suite, Salesforce.com, right? So Dynamics. So there are so many hundreds of thousands of sites up there that have a software available for you, ready to be used. Then we go ahead. We're going to talk about public, private, and hybrid as well. But I was going to talk about then this. So there are so many certifications. Then what set of certs should I go for in order to apply for a systems administration jobs ranging from 25 per hour up to 60 per hour. So 60 per hour is not a myth. Some people are earning that. Some IT administrators are earning that, and governments or companies are paying that kind of money as well. The certifications that are kind of recommended there are, if you have the must-have certification used to be MCSA 2016, which is about to expire this January 31. So after that, these Azure Administrator certifications will be valid, and this is expiring. But knowing about operating system is a very, very important thing, right? Then must-have certification number 2 is Microsoft 365, which is a combination of Exchange Online, which is an email service, SharePoint Online, which is a file sharing service, and then Teams Online, which is meetings and conferences, OneDrive for storing data, and Azure Active Directory is just authentication and authorization. So you will have to, you will face that in the market. No matter which company you go, you will see Office 365. In majority of the companies, it's there. Then there is another Microsoft course there, System Center Configuration Manager. Its cloud version is Intune. Intune simply handles your devices Suppose the company gave laptops, desktops, and tablets and cell phones. So with Intune, which is a cloud service, it's in the cloud. You can just handle those already. Like centrally, you can manage those devices and secure them as well with Intune. And then this certification is very important. VMware, or the skills for that. Now I'm sure you may have gone through that VMware, or if not, then plan it. That before you hit the market, you need to go for VMware VCP 6.7. Now the latest version is 7.0, right? And Citrix is also there in the companies. It's just application virtualization, but must-have is VMware. Must-have is Microsoft 365 certification, and then ITIL is just for change management certification. Then there is Cisco. This is a must-have. You must know how routing and switching really works. Without that, you can't survive in the IT market. Then there is a operating system, Red Hat Linux. In cloud, you will see a lot of Linux there, and Microsoft operating system as well. So if you're certified as a Linux administrator, that is also a big advantage there. In security, you can go vendor neutral, certified ethical hacker, CEH, CISSP, or you go for vendor based certification for security, Azure security, or an AWS security. So these are some must haves. At least one of the security certifications is a must have. So plan it in future. And then the must have comes, and that's where our course is, that you need to learn the cloud, or the public cloud, and that is Azure Administrator. This certification you must do AZ-104, Azure, Microsoft Azure 303, which is Azure Architect and Azure Security. And this is our course, which is Amazon Web Services Certified Solutions Architect Associate level. I'm going to give you some sample questions for the certification as well. They will be our college quiz or midterm and final term exams, right? But there will be a certification that you need to give as well. So whatever material you need for the certification as well for the companies, just contact me, I'll give you. And then there is some automation as well that you can go for. So this is just a plan that I'm giving you, that right now these skills are really hot in the market, and if you don't have any of these or some of these you have, or just plan according to this. If you're going for system administration side, you're not a programmer, or you're not pursuing just programming, or you're not a database administrator, you're not just pursuing database, then this is the field, right? Networking is also another field, but those who are going for networking, they must have at least Microsoft 365, VMware, CCNA. Obviously, you're in the networking, right? So you must do CCNA, and either one of this certification or this, right? It's a must for those who are in the network. Okay, so that's what I say as career talk on day one. So other than that, we're gonna now talk about we're gonna talk about that different types of cloud still, and comparison of the big three in the market in terms of the cloud service provider. There is AWS, there is Azure, there is Google Cloud. So we're going to talk about that, but before that, how we're going to share data, and where do I put all the data as well. I normally have a OneNote, which is George Brown OneNote. So if you log into George Brown services there for Office 365, there is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, right? So, and Teams there as well. And you can also have, there's also OneNote here. So normally I put whenever I create diagrams, I put it on OneNote here. And so in order to get to OneNote, obviously I'm going to share everything on Blackboard as well. But when I put diagrams, this would be in the slides, which would be on the Blackboard as well as on the OneNote. If you're logged into OneNote, then it will be shared. And if I've shared that OneNote with you, there's a share button here. So then you will, in 2 to 10 seconds, whatever I type here will be automatically updated on your OneNote as well, right? So in order to log into OneNote, you may type https://portal.office.com and then put your George Brown College ID and password, right, to log in there. So I'll be adding you to OneNote, and once you log into the class, you can just connect to the OneNote as well. So in order to log into that, I'll just put that here in the chat as well. Is anyone able to log into OneNote from the class? If you go to that link, are you able to log in from your college ID? Okay, David says yes, Cherry says yes, Tenzin says yes, Arif says yes, Mr. Reed says okay. That means, okay, Nergis says yes. Great, you guys are smart. I know you were smart, but you're fast. That's what I meant. Alexander says yes. Great, you guys are. So you're able to log in, and you do see there OneNote here. Okay, what I will do is I will click the share button, and there is that people can view. Thank God they removed that edit. So where it was empty exactly? David says it was empty. Can you give? Okay, so are these the names that are George Brown? Normally I need a George Brown ID here. Can anyone put a George Brown ID there just to confirm that you get the access right away, or it takes some time? Like your George Brown ID at georgebrown.ca. If you can put it on the WebEx chat. So I would copy that here and click the share, and after some time you're gonna see under the shared with me. Okay, there you go. David has put there. I'll just copy that quickly. Oh, I was gonna copy David's and I got Arif's instead because he also put. Oh, I see the name. So if I click that, yes, you're added. I'll quickly put David there. Yeah, your name is coming here. Oh, there you go. So now there's a flood of IDs. So normally I do that in the class because Alexander. Okay, got it. And Nargis. Okay, got it. So sometimes the name does not come up against the ID. So normally I do it on day one as well, just to confirm that the name comes up now and later student does not complain that. So Tenzin. Okay, got it. And Ethan. Okay. Yes, Ethan is also there. Do it. Yes, it shows up. Does it work with our names? I think it would, but with ID it definitely comes, and that's why I don't see to. You can also call me just Alex. Oh, okay, Alex. Okay, and Dante. So got it. And Damandeep. So, and cherries, okay. So I'll just press send, and after now, welcome to Microsoft. So normally what happens is some students get right away and some students don't get right away. So I'm just gonna click the send button here, and what happens is, so link sent. Okay, what does that mean? Now if you are here on you've logged into OneNote, so there is OneNote here. You click that OneNote. Normally you should be seeing under shared with me that you're the Wednesday class, right? So GB Winter 2021 Cloud class Wednesday 6 to 10. So under shared with me, if you refresh, sign out, sign in. Okay, David says got it. Good. So Microsoft is working. Okay, Arif also got it. Very good. There is nothing there. Yes, Messerit, it's for some it will appear right away. For some it will not appear right away. I don't know why. Tenzin got it. Okay, that's good. So whoever gave me the ID, I just added. So it's a matter of time. For majority, they will get right away, and some will not. So Cherry says order by list. Yeah, and Nargis says got it. Okay, very good. So shared with me is the area where you can look if you still didn't get it, and check it out after some time as well. But normally you refresh, you sign out, sign in, and if I had added you here, then yes, you will see it here. Mesut says MESERET. And Alex says no. Okay. Yeah, guys, as I said that for some it will appear right away, for some it will appear after some time. Very few students in previous courses saw it the next day, and that was really then I was saying welcome to Microsoft. Okay, Alex says good. You got it too. So it just refresh, it's a matter of time, right? Now we can go ahead. Okay, cool. We can go ahead. First of all, it's the one node that you should be connected to, and every class when you log in, you can connect to the one node, right? And if I go ahead, so in fact here, so yeah, so whatever I've written here, you might be seeing that already, or whatever I will write, you will be seeing here already. Now in the Blackboard also I mentioned that you can install TeamViewer there. I will be sending to you AWS IDs, so I will be sending to you AWS invitations in your college emails. When you get that, you could just log in, and AWS has provided us with the $50 worth of service usage. It's not $50 to our bank accounts, it's just $50 worth of service usage. So we're going to try not to waste that right away by using, what does this service do? And there's your 5 cents gone. What is that? And if you've created a virtual machine, don't leave it started. It's going to consume your $50 and you might not do the rest of the course with me. And I need the screenshots of what you're doing to give you marks. So when I do the lab, then you do the labs, you follow me, and you will be okay, right? So I'll be sending you, okay, that's, excuse me. All the class videos will be available on YouTube channel, and you could just follow up on YouTube for that. So I will give you the link there. In fact, I did give the link on Blackboard. So this video that we're doing, so this will be uploaded by tonight or tomorrow there. You will have to upload the screenshots of the lab by the end of the class, right? Or half marks for late submission. Late submission has half marks. You will follow the labs with me as I do it. Better if you can have another screen, like one screen to see what I am doing. It could be I.E, for example. It is your cell phone or tablet, right? And the other screen for you to follow me, right? So if you have two screens already, that's good. Otherwise, well, you can have your cell phone, so log in from cell phone or tablet and see what I'm doing and then do it. And because you need to, I will be asking to take a screenshot of a certain configuration during our labs. So you have to take exactly the screenshot of the page and the configuration, right? And name it at the end of the class, just upload it, right? So this is how it's going to be. And if you did not upload at the end of the class the screenshots, then obviously you will lose some marks. If in case you were not able to upload shots of the labs because of some errors, so because of some error, stubborn error, that is error or errors, then take a screenshot of the error and show me. So obviously if the screenshot of the error is there, it's understandable that you can't go ahead then and show me. So you may then only upload the screenshot later before the next class, right? So also each screenshot must have your name showing in the background. So these are some of the rules that you will know and understand. I'll repeat that as well. So since you got access to the OneNote, so this will be all showing here, there as well, and I'll be uploading that in the slide and in Blackboard as well. So David says there, how do you want screenshots taken and where would we upload them? Yes. So when we start the lab, so I will show you, suppose we're doing some configuration. So I will say that suppose I'm creating a virtual machine and so when I create, you will create, right? So you will exactly follow me as I do. So there, in fact, there's an Einstein rule which with which Einstein has nothing to do with. So that is, if I, other section knows that already. If I no click, then you no click, right? So it can be simpler than that. I wanted to make it even simpler than that, but it can be, and ignore the grammar. But the thing is that if I don't go ahead, and whichever, I'm going to stop you at certain point. Hey, this is a very important configuration. Suppose we're in the middle of creating a machine, right? Do we have first lab today? No. Alex, no. Snipping tool is okay. Yes, David, snipping tool is okay. And if I no click, then you no click. This is the rule. And when I ask for a screenshot, so you can just, you have OneNote. If you have OneNote installed, there's a key there, a key combination, Windows key, Shift key, and S key. I'm going to do that now. Windows, Shift, S on the keyboard, and it lets me, take a screenshot of whatever area I want. So what I would ask you to do is that your name must be showing in the background, and I'm going to show you exactly when we are taking screenshots. Suppose, let me give an example. Suppose I drop down this, my name is showing now, right? My ID is showing there. So I'll take a screenshot. I take the screenshot of the required area plus wherever my name is showing in the configuration area of AWS, right? So that name is showing there. And then how to upload. So you will name the screenshot. There will be total 10 screenshots here. There, it used to be 60 or 70 screenshots, but then students let me know that, hey, that's too much, prof. So there will be total 10 screenshots. I will ask of specific configurations only. So if you have done the lab exactly as I did, then you will only be able to reach to those configurations, and total 10 screenshots you need to upload, and you get full marks at the end of the class, right? Okay, so oh yeah, exactly. So Windows key shift S. So you have OneNote, and this is a OneNote feature, so that's really cool. Yeah, so David says per lab. Yeah, per lab there is 10 screenshots. So any one day, total 10 screenshots. But you will see the amount of labs there are. I'm gonna be like the 4 hours. We're gonna discuss first of all what is the concept. I'm gonna create diagrams there as well, and then when we start the lab, everyone starts the lab with me, and go step by step with me. I keep on explaining during the steps as well why we are taking this step, why not that step, why this option, why not that option, right? So, and then all of a sudden I could stop at any configuration and say, okay, take the screenshot of this particular configuration. So obviously you will have to follow me exactly where I am. You can't go ahead of me, because then you won't be able to take that screenshot exactly as I want. If it's not exactly as I want, you lose marks, right? So that's how the game is played. Okay, there's no game. So that's how we're gonna go ahead and do all the labs. Your friends in the other batch, they have gone with me through those courses. So wherever you're not able to do the lab, just let me know. But you must have a proof that, hey, prof, I got this error. I can't go ahead. I troubleshoot a lot. Then in that case, you don't. I'll give you time to upload the screenshots by following the video, right? But it has to be a legit error, acceptable. Okay, so and yeah, the videos will be uploaded there. They will be available for you forever, and those are all the labs that will be useful for you in the job market as well. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. But I normally start on day one. We start labs right away, but I was told by the college that, hey, first clarify the theory part and then go for lab. So otherwise, I just, my concept is to do it to understand it, because IT is a practical field. So maybe by next class we will jump in, because I won't be able to resist more. And I'll start the labs right away. But today's we need to understand the whole process and some basic concepts of cloud. And I can take all your questions as well. So David says, has a cloud service provider ever gone completely down? Well, there have been outages with Microsoft, and maybe 4 or 5 months ago, Microsoft went down with the Xbox service, with Office 365 service. One Monday morning, big companies were screaming, hey, where are our files? Why can't we access? And Microsoft had a huge outage. It lasted for 4 hours. Otherwise, normally it could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours in different regions. This region is out, but the whole cloud is out. That would be rare, and that's why they have distributed resources. So if one continent is out, there are other continents that still have their data available. So yeah, that's a huge torture. And so that's why when suppose you're the cloud company, you're the cloud expert in your company, right? They are asking you for everything regarding cloud services. So you should go for and check out or Google it, that which services had downtime in 2020, or which cloud services had downtime 2019, and you can see the last 3 years of data, and then check that. So AWS is still the most reliable top cloud provider company, and Microsoft Azure is still the second best, but Google Cloud is really catching up now with with grabbing the market share. Okay, so let's get going. Yeah, okay, Shuri says, didn't Google go down a week or two ago? Yeah, then I must have missed it. But when Microsoft went down, the whole planet knew that. But yes, these services do keep going down from time to time, but it's on regional level or one region is down for a few hours and then up again, or sometimes it's just some data in certain regions is down. So that's how it is. But we're going to check that. I'm going to show you within the AWS cloud that how does it look like, how do we detect that, which region right now is down, which services in a region are down. Maybe the whole region is not down, some services only are down. Maybe you cannot create virtual machines only, but you can create networking, you can create databases and storage. So sometimes individual services are also down. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. So we were talking about the public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Then we talked about infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. But then there are further types there, which is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So that is also really a common model today, and you would see a lot of companies following this business model as well, which is like a hybrid cloud as well. So okay, MSP did not start with the right click. I'll go for that. So when you have full public cloud, so I'm going to create that diagram. Normally I will create this. It looks cloudy, right? So that's why I create. So this is suppose your AWS cloud and Microsoft's Azure, which is a rival company of AWS, and then there's Google Cloud, GCP, Google Cloud Platform here. So this is public cloud. So your company connected to AWS, and your company created virtual machines there. So those virtual machines are totally in the public cloud. So this means that you remotely connected from your laptop to their data centers, AWS data centers, and then you created virtual machines there, and you maintain them, you keep them up. Suppose they are supposed to be up 24/7, 365, because there are clients connecting from across the planet to your virtual machines. You keep them up. Or if they are just connecting 9 to 5, then you could just shut them down after 5 o'clock. So it's up to you. And this is public cloud. You create everything in public. So that is called compute. Then you also go for this compute, right? And you also go for storage. You also go for network and databases. So this is purely on the cloud. You don't have anything else other than in their remote data centers. But when we go for hybrid, so hybrid is that you actually have suppose local Toronto branch here, and that Toronto branch has its local machine. So there is a web server, there's a domain controller here, Active Directory, central authentication providing, right? There's a file server here, there's a web server here, there's a print server here, and database server here. So there are so many applications installed in the local physical machines here, or virtual machines. Now this is local branch, Toronto branch, and we also, terminology is on premises. There's cloud resources. That's a terminology for all the resources in the cloud. Virtual machines are a resource. Storage folders are a resource. Networks are a resource. Databases are a resource. So there are cloud resources, and then there are on-prem resources. Normally we call it on-prem resources or on-premises, which is local branch. And here you have Active Directory and file services, file server, web server, print server, PS, and database server, right? Now the end users are using these services. So you go to your Toronto branch or New York branch or whichever branch, you log in for your Windows 10 machine, then you connect to your username is authenticated from Active Directory, and then you log in successfully, then you connect to file services, then you connect to web services, then you connect to print services, then you connect to database services. Now the company decides that, okay, since every other company is saving millions of dollars going to cloud, so how about I purchase some applications in the cloud as well. So your on-premises company decides to purchase some applications, not only some applications, but we're going to create databases there, or we're going to upload some data there up in the cloud as well. So other than that, Office 365, the company says, I'm going to use my emails on Exchange Online from now on, right? All the company emails. Or I'm going to share my files in cloud from now on. So they go for SharePoint. Or I'm going to centrally manage all my devices from the cloud, so Intune. Or I'm going to have my meetings and conferences done with the cloud software, so that's Teams. So the company decides from now on, I'm going to have some cloud applications as well. So then the company says, okay, my end users are actually here in Active Directory, and they use the local services here in the Toronto branch, on-premises resources. How can they actually use the cloud services as well? So then you create connection of Active Directory, local Active Directory. What is Active Directory? Active Directory is a central authentication and authorization system, right? So cloud also provides Active Directory. Microsoft Azure Active Directory is there as well. Microsoft Azure Active Directory, which is a security guard, and that security guard just makes sure that whoever is about to enter the cloud and use the company applications should be first authenticated and then authorized. So what you do is, oh, my users will still be using local services, but my users should also be able to use cloud applications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hybrid environment. So hybrid just means two different environments, in our case, are connected and working together. So that's a hybrid configuration together. So in hybrid, what happens is that there you have these users which are here. The user John is here, user Bob is here, right? User Jane is here. So you synchronize these users, to Azure Active Directory. Now these users have their username password here in on-premises branch, on-premises, so they can use the local resources. But now their username password has been synchronized to Azure Active Directory as well. So this means the user John, user Bob, user Jane are all their usernames are here as well. Normally they're called password hashes. Their password hashes are there, or username, password, or credentials are here. Why? As soon as they try to connect to the Exchange Online or SharePoint Online or any other, so first they will be asked from that security guard sitting here on the cloud, the Azure Active Directory, hey, can you give me your username and password? And once you give your username and password, then you can log into cloud resources as well. So sometimes companies say that, oh, because I've been using that for 6 months or 1 year, SharePoint is so good, how about I just get rid of the SP or the SharePoint here. Suppose this was a SharePoint server. I'm gonna move all my data slowly to online SharePoint, and then I need to get rid of this physical server. Suppose there were in 4 physical servers, SharePoint was installed there. So you get rid of 4 physical servers, you need less physical space in your local branch or on premises. So slowly then the companies are going towards cloud, and they can move their users. Sometimes the companies also move back some data. Suppose there was a virtual machine running here on a hypervisor or VMware, and then that virtual machine they said, okay, move it to cloud. But in the cloud they saw that virtual machine is running there. Okay, that's good, but it's costing a little more and its performance is not as good, or if you increase the CPU and RAM, it's costing a little more than what they expected. So sometimes the company says, oh, no, just migrate back to our local environment and we will decide it later how it works, when we will transfer the machine. So Hybrid environment is you put your resources from on-premises to cloud and from cloud back to on-premises as well, or you maintain two environments together. That is called hybrid cloud. So now this is not actually cloud, this is just local on-premises, and there is a hybrid environment, which means that you're connected to cloud plus on-premises, right? And then it also mentions second thing is private cloud. So okay, we see a public cloud, we connect to our private environment here, the company local data center, on-premises data center, and when they work together, this is called hybrid cloud. Then what is a private cloud? So that's even more interesting, and some companies who have more resources and a lot bigger budget, they go for private cloud as well, which is very interesting. Even you can open a private cloud of your own if you can manage your underlying hardware yourself. So what happens in the private cloud is that you decide that, hey, you're a company, you're a managed service. Maybe you've heard about this type of company, managed services company. Sometimes you see that in Indeed.com or some recruiter site, that managed services, MSPs, managed services providers. They're called MSPs, or managed service providers, or managed services company. So what do? They have one client whose two machines are here, and they're a small company. Then they have another client whose 5 machines are here. Then they have another client whose 20 machines are here, and they are handling different local smaller companies, and they tell them, hey, we're going to handle your applications, you don't have to worry about that, you just pay us this much amount monthly, we're going to handle your applications here. So what they do, they create, nowadays they are creating private cloud, which is what? Private cloud is we can download the cloud software on top of our hardware. So you become a kind of a cloud services provider yourself. How? So cloud software, where do we, is there a cloud software? Is that even a thing? So, well, if you go for openstack.com, you can download the full cloud software, and it's not that easy to install on your hardware. So you download, and there's not only openstack.com, there's azurestack.com. azurestack.com. This is the full Azure, Microsoft Azure cloud software, which is not free, but openstack.com is free. AWS also created that, Google Cloud also created that. You want to put a software on top of your hardware. The difference now is that not only that you have to handle the above software of the cloud on top of your hardware, and you have to also handle the underlying hardware. If this machine goes down, you have to replace that with another working machine. While in the cloud, that same environment of creating virtual machines, creating storage, creating databases, creating network is there, but the underlying hardware Microsoft is handling with their engineers, right? AWS is handling with their engineers. But you just take the game to your data center, that no, I'm going to be like AWS, I'm going to be like Microsoft Azure. So, or the company already has some Azure resources deployed on Azure public cloud, but then the company CEO saw, oh, we can actually have that same Azure software deployed on our hardware. Oh, really? Okay. So we will pay them a license fee, and then we're going to make our local environment look like Azure environment as well. We created a virtual machine there, we created network there, we created storage there. Exactly the same interface will look like here when you download the Azure stack or Azure software on top of your hardware. So on top of this, you can create virtual machine just like you were creating in Azure. The interface will exactly look like as if you are connected to a public cloud, while it is actually that same cloud software that is on top of your hardware. So you need to manage Suppose these are all Dell servers or HP servers. You need to manage all those HP and Dell servers plus the above environment. But here you can create as many machines. The benefit is when you create a virtual machine there, you have to know the cost. Oh, I'm gonna run this virtual machine for 1 month. Oh, the cost is suppose this machine has 32 core processor. That's a lot, right? Suppose this machine has 128 GB RAM, another big one, and it wants to have what? 1 terabyte SSD, and that also 100 SSDs times 100, right? So you need a big configuration. You create virtual machines which are hosting big applications, right? When you start those virtual machines, the underlying hardware is used and AWS Azure will start billing you right away. It's like 0.00345 cents per hour. But you know, if you have more processor, virtual processor, more virtual RAM, more virtual disk, then this bill will become bigger. Obviously, if you need to run big application, you must be a big company already and you must be earning millions already. So this would still be a, you know, not a big amount for you because it's running your application and that application may be earning you millions of dollars, right? So if you are able to create that big machine here, so then you know your hardware capacity and you can upgrade that anytime. And so this is your Azure stack and OpenStack. So when you talk about private cloud, it is that you download the software of the cloud on your own hardware and manage it. Okay, so Cherry says that will there be a break during class? Exactly, there will be a break. So this is 8:01. Let's take a break where the class starts. Well, it's going to be 20-minute break, and then the class starts at 8:20, right? So we may finish early today, and after introduction to the course as well. So yeah, the class will start at 8:20 for 20 minutes, right? There's a break, so I'll put it on OneNote as well. So break, class starts 8:20. Okay, I'll mute and pause the video. Okay. We were talking about some explanation of public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and then infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so Nargis says, I got acquainted with someone's daily routine today. Okay, that's good to know, I guess. Alright, so we're talking about then the top 3 cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. They all have data centers across the planet, and they try to grab as much of the market share as they can by providing cheaper services, better services. So what are those services that they provide? Well, there are some links here for what is public, private, and hybrid cloud there. I'll try to go ahead and talk about the course content there as well. So that is available. That is available here on the Blackboard as well, right? So on the top you can see here you guys are 49410, right? And 2002. So there you have on Blackboard download the team viewer. So why is that? Suppose you're really stuck with some task and you're not able to do that, so I can remotely connect to your machine as well through TeamViewer if you have installed that, and then I could. Now during the class we may not be able to do that because we have to finish the labs as well, and if you're stuck with something, some error there, so you could just take a screenshot of that would tell me that this is the reason you were not able to finish the lab at that day before the class ends. So in that case you can let me know, and after the class I could connect to the TeamViewer through TeamViewer remotely to your computer and try to check it out. Otherwise you can just give me screenshots of your error and I can tell you as well what to do. So other than that, I have given everyone the instruction to join on WhatsApp, and some of you have given the said hello to me on WhatsApp. So my suggestion would be to you may say hello to me on WhatsApp, and please give your full name and course name, and preferably which day, so day of your class. So that is Wednesday, right? So Wednesday cloud class is yours. So you can just say on what number it's +1 647 554 9446, and my name is Amir Shazad. So you can just put it on. Well, so Cherry says that is this optional? Well, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do that. It's just for quick communication, and it's not mandatory, yes, as far as that is concerned. So quick communication, which you may want to see, and one is quick communication, other is you quickly share your error screenshot, right? You have some other faster way, or you could just email me the screenshot if you don't want to come on WhatsApp. So obviously that's not mandatory. Just for quick communication, and that has been found to be very useful for the students. So otherwise, yes, everything's on Blackboard as well. Okay, those who want to go for this, yes, this is the information. Those who don't, you don't have to. Okay, and let's go ahead, and if you have noted down, this is on the Blackboard as well, but if you have noted down, you can just go ahead. Now, other than that, the course content, so I was going to go for that, and that is so yep, I haven't put the link for this class on YouTube channel, but I will be putting that link there. In fact, this is the link. If I click that, so it goes to the YouTube channel, but it takes you to a previous George Brown course there for Exchange. It should open in your on your course, so Cloud Management, Winter 2021 Cloud Management, right? So I'll be changing that link to the Cloud Management course because I need the first video to do that, and this is the video that is getting recorded. So once that video is up, so then you can just go to, I'll just change that link at that time. If it's not still changed, you could just follow up with me, hey prof, and you just change that link to our class link with the first video, and the rest of the course videos and the whole labs would be there as well. Other than that, yes, OneNote, we're already done with that, right? And so there's the course content here. I'm just going to click that course content, and it just opens up showing you all the details, and there's that book. There is an official study guide here for AWS Solutions Architect Associate. That official study guide you can go ahead and open up. So if I just put that study guide, so there's a newer version of that. There's a 2016 version, and then so don't take this one. I think there is a newer version. This is $79, and there's a newer edition of that. So this is Solutions Architect Associate SAA02. Actually, that's the exam code. So we're targeting this certification for all the labs, and this is SAA CO1. So don't go for CO1. You would go for CO2, SAA CO2, which is AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate Study Guide. So that would be the one. So this is December 30th released, SAA CO2. If you want to go for this book, so this is the one that you should be getting. I'll just put that slide as well at the end of this class. Oops. Okay, and what's wrong with this? Okay, so 30th of December, so that's one thing, and second thing is I'll just quickly take that screenshot as well and put it here. Okay, this is the study guide, and it will really help you get up and running with if you want to go more in depth. In fact, this is a study guide. This is not a full book, so it's to the point, but it's talking about the latest changes that have been done on AWS. Okay, so I'm going to yeah, I did open that course outline, so I'll just follow that. Right, so I think it's here. In fact, it's open the content. So the first thing is, and the second thing is lab assignments, the marks distribution you can see there, project, midterm, final term, marks distribution is there, right? And weekly learning topics, so best 10 out of 12 labs. This is not all 12 labs are, but the best 10 out of 12 labs is there. And then there are topics, and we were talking about intro to private, public, and hybrid cloud. That's what we talked about today. Then there is vendor neutral, cloud services providers, service comparisons. So what are the services there that the cloud are really famous for? We're going to talk about that. And virtualization. What is virtualization? You must have gone for the virtualization course already, I guess. Well, the other your other batch has gone with that. Maybe you did or you did not go for virtualization course. I'm not sure about that, about the network guys. So oh, you did. Okay, so you've gone through the virtualization course. So this is just introduction for virtualization, the virtual machine, the virtual switch, and virtual storage, and how it works with the Hyper-V and how it works with VMware, both type of technologies, because the whole cloud is also virtualized. So whatever virtual machine you create here in VMware or in Hyper-V is what you're going to create there. So obviously VMware has its own extension, its own format, or its own file structure, and Hyper-V has its separate one. So how does it relate to cloud? So virtualization is your local on-premises data center virtualization we're talking about, and obviously it's very much related to your cloud course, because as we talked about the hybrid course or hybrid cloud here, let me also copy all this too. So you've all logged into one node. So when I put a diagram there, so you should get it in on your one node in a few seconds. So it's still pasting. Yeah, okay, that's good. And I'll copy that, so you'll have a record of all the diagrams there on your one node. It will be shared right away. And I'll paste that as well. And yeah, these are the two. And the third one is just writing here. Since I did it on MS Paint, so I'll just quickly put that here as well. Okay, so what I was saying about the virtualization, how is it so important, right? So it is important because your on-premises environment will have physical servers, and those physical servers will have not operating system on top of that, but the hypervisor. So you must have known that in the virtual course that the hypervisor is supposed to be there. On top of the hypervisor, you will have the virtual machine. So the one purpose of hypervisor is to host virtual machines. So those virtual machines, when they are hosted, so those virtual machines that are okay, so those virtual machines that are here now, these virtual machines are, you're supposed to know first of all that the current company's data centers are all virtualized. So either they have VMware, majority of them have VMware, and many of them also have hypervisor. So they may ask that, hey, since we're all going to cloud, so can you just migrate the virtual machine from our local hypervisor to AWS cloud or Azure cloud or GCP, Google Cloud Platform, right? So you need to know how virtualization really works and what is the relation between the virtualization, on-premises virtualization or environment with the cloud. So it's a very, very strong relationship between the two environments. They tell you, okay, suppose you're a cloud expert, you know AWS and Azure, or even all three clouds, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and you say that, yes, I'm an expert in that. So the company interviewer says that, can you migrate our VMware machines to AWS? So obviously you need to know how VMware really works, or Hyper-V really works, how virtual machines are working. When you migrate that, do you have to really convert the virtual machine from VMware format to AWS format, from VMware format to Azure format? So yes, you do have to convert that, and you have to know that how does it really work. Suppose you're migrating the machine from on-premises to cloud, and some outage happens and the connection is lost. The virtual machine comes back here. Is it intact? The underlying platform, how does it work? Does it offer disaster recovery there? Did you have a backup of those virtual machines? Do you know how to take a backup of virtualized environment? So all this is there if you have done, well, specifically VMware course, VCP, which is VMware Certified Professional. That can be done. It's a must-have certification. If you have done the VMware course here in George Brown, you should ask the instructor that can we have the voucher, 70% discount voucher for the certification of VCP exam, VMware Certified Professional 7.0. I can give you all the rest of the material to prepare that, but if you can get the voucher from there, so it is required for just the virtual VMware exam. Anyway, so this environment is really important, and virtualization is really important, and majority of the companies will have this environment where, well, majority of the big companies will have this environment. Maybe small companies have all migrated whole stuff on cloud already, but medium to large size companies, would not have then. So you majority of the time you will face this hybrid environment, and many of the cloud technologies and some of the hybrid technologies you have to face. So that's why virtualization is also important. If I go back, yeah, so then we're going to start with AWS Cloud Services IAM and introduction, and that is this is where we start the lab. We may start much earlier the lab as well if we cover those topics a bit sooner. Otherwise, we're going to start as part of the course outline. So we're going to log into AWS Cloud Services and IAM, Identity and Access Management. This is all about how to authenticate your users, how to authorize your users in the cloud, how to create your users, how to create your groups there, how to put some policies, how to put permissions. So we're going to go for all that in our AWS cloud. So if we are not able to finish the lab in week 4, we can stretch this same lab to week 5, and it might all get stretched. Then the EC2 is a long list of labs there as well, where we're gonna EC2. What is EC2? It's a virtual machine, Elastic Compute Cloud. So EC2, or there are two C's there, ECC or EC2. So Elastic Compute Cloud just means virtual machine. So how does an AWS virtual machine really work? And there are lots and lots of services there that I'm going to introduce to you. And there is that AWS load balancing and AWS auto scaling there. We're going to talk about that as well. But load balancing, you may, from the network topic, you may have already talked about load balancing, right? So other than that, you can also go for auto scaling. Auto scaling is also a very interesting feature, that if you have one virtual machine there and there's a lot of traffic, a lot of network traffic there for on one virtual machine, so it can automatically create more virtual machines for you if and divide the network traffic among all those automatically created more virtual machines. So how to set it all up, what is the concept behind that, in which scenarios we use that, we're going to talk all about that, and we're going to do the whole lab as well. That's AWS environment that you're going to be logging into would be it would be obviously a test environment given by AWS itself. So we are AWS partner college, so they do provide the students the test environment, but they do provide limitations. There's a lot of limitations there. So otherwise, normally when I teach in other colleges, more vocational colleges, so there I just tell the students, hey, get your credit card and connect it to AWS and follow my instructions. You won't get charged anything. But then all the services are open, and it's 1 year test account that is called free tier account by AWS. But this is education license, so there would be more limitations there. In fact, they give you $50 for usage of services, not give to your pocket, but $50 worth of services you can use, which we will use carefully, right? Okay, so then week 7, 8, intersession week, but normally I ask the students, hey, you want the midterm quiz at week 7, or you want it after the intersession week? So if the student says, no, after the intersession week, then I take that after intersession week, and week 7 we normally then do the lab as well. So then we're going to go for AWS storage there. What is storage? Lots of features there for storage as well. And how do you upload the files? How do you encrypt the files? How does the HTTPS connection work? And CDN, cloud delivery network. How do you deliver the files from one region to another? So lots of services that we're going to talk about. And then AWS networking, VPC Pairing. So what is VPC? VPC is Virtual Private Cloud. So this is your local LAN network in your public cloud. You can create your own private network with maximum 200 subnets per VPC, or per virtual private cloud. So this is a local environment where you can create virtual machines with private IP addresses. So that's pretty cool. And how do you connect two VPCs together? So it's like one LAN connected to another LAN, two VPCs, right? So then it is called VPC Pairing. So we're going to do the whole lab for that. We're going to check it out what scenarios we use the VPC, and how do we create subnets, how do we create route tables there, and so your networking background would really help you in understanding this one as well. And then there's databases, so how to create databases, how many types of databases are there, and what is the purpose of so many types of databases there. So we're going to talk about that. There is AWS site-to-site VPN. Now that is pretty tricky. Site-to-site VPN is a big lab. It would be a purely demo lab unless you want to do this stunt with me, and unless it is allowed to be done in your AWS Educate. Now I do that. I do show that AWS site-to-site VPN in other college where students are asked to attach their credit card to the free tier, 1 year free tier AWS account. There we can use any service, right? So I would switch in that case when I show the demo. If the AWS education, which has limited features available for students. So if we are not able to do that on site-to-site VPN on our AWS Educate, then we're going to go for, I'm going to just switch to my other credit card connected AWS user account, and just to give you a demonstration of how it works and why do we even use it. What is VPN anyway? Virtual private network, and that means you connect from your home or from one branch to another branch with a secure tunnel in the internet, right? So it's very secure connection between two branches or from your home to your company. It's a very, very secure connection there, right? So AWS site-to-site VPN is there, and I'm going to show you the demo. Whenever you're not following the lab, so you can still take screenshots of my screens wherever I say that, okay, I have reached this, so take a screenshot of this and put your name on your screenshot. So then I will ask that. You will take a screenshot of my screen, but all those screenshots then have to be uploaded by the end of the class. In all other labs, you have to do the lab with me, and you have to take a screenshot of your same page where I am, right? So I'll be slow in the initial labs, and then we're gonna go slowly faster. Hopefully by that time you will pick up that whole lab format, the way we do the lab. Then there's CloudWatch and AWS Active Directory. So CloudWatch is a one-stop monitoring service offered by AWS, and AWS Active Directory is the authentication and authorization of Microsoft available on top of AWS Cloud, right? So very interesting lab here. If we don't have limitation, we're going to be doing that lab. Otherwise, I might switch to my credit card account to show you how it works, and you can take a screenshot of my screen if you're not able to do that lab on your side, right? So and this will be all recorded, so you can always repeat that lab when you get the free account or when you're applying for a job and you need to really do that. So then there's AWS other services, comparison with Azure and Google Cloud providers. So then we're going to go for, since we would have gone through by now to all these AWS services, which are they do come in the interview, they would come in the exam as well. And my suggestion is to give that certification as soon as possible as well, because that's really in demand in the market. But always remember that it's not just one certification that gets you the job. It's always a combination of skills and combination of certifications that gives you the job, right? So we're going to compare that. What are those services in Azure? So what is VPC called in Azure? VPC is called VNet in Azure, right? AWS databases, how they're different from AWS and Azure. And CloudWatch is also a monitoring application there in AWS, Azure. Normally I teach that AWS and Azure 2-in-1 course in other college as well. So that's why I have the whole Azure course material as well. We're going to cover in this course only AWS, but if any one of you wants to go for Microsoft Azure labs as well, whose jobs are there also in our Greater Toronto area market, So I'll just give you access to that Azure course and Azure material as well. Anyone wants to do that certification, my suggestion, yes, go for Solutions Architect Associate AWS certification plus Microsoft Azure Administrator certification, and Office 365 and VMware VCP exam. These 4 are must-have, very critical certifications nowadays. Okay, so we're gonna go for the comparison that which services here are called what in Azure and in Google Cloud. So there's that comparison as well. Oh yeah, so Juris says that do you have a list of the costs fees for these certifications? Well, AWS certification is $150 US dollars, and Azure certification is $165 US dollars. So those are the certification fee, and the material, that's free from my side. You work hard, I give you all the material, and then you pass the exam, you get the job, right? So the thing is, the material you want, I'll give you, and that would be latest, but you need to be determined about doing those certifications. So all the help I can give, I will give that. Access to the course videos, yes, if you need, I'll give you that. So separately, just let me know on WhatsApp or email. Previous courses also, some students actually did the certification at the mid of this course. Actually, 2 students did that at the mid of the course. So I was like, wow, amazed. Saluted that guy. So anyway, you have to be really aggressive because there are so many others who are doing these certifications. They're learning this course. The main thing is, do you understand the topic, the concepts, and did you repeat the labs as many times? Because the more you repeat the labs, the more confident you will get, and that will get you the job, because you have to pass the interview by proving that you know all that, right? And you can only prove it when you've done it repeatedly. So you will have access to those videos as well, and any other course videos you need, because I teach other courses as well, Office 365 and all other courses. You want to do all that, just let me know, I'll just give you access, right? Okay guys, so that was the intro and the course outline and some basic concept about cloud and AWS infrastructure. Now if there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you next Wednesday, 6 o'clock sharp, and we'll go with next topics, and most probably I'll go for labs as well, most probably. So okay guys, if there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this is it for today. We're finishing a bit early, but if there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you on Wednesday. I'll stop the video recording. Okay, so David says in the chat, Church says, first of all, when will the video go up? Yeah, this video will be available by tonight or tomorrow. If it's not there by tomorrow night, then you can follow up on email, hey prof, for the video, or WhatsApp or text, and I'll just upload if in case I forgot. Okay, all right, thank you. And David says here, the paid AWS account you would use, did it cost 0.99 cents? No, normally it does not cost anything if we are careful. Otherwise, normally, yeah, sometimes they do send actually some money on your account to check that if this credit card is valid. So they actually send, if they did cost it 0.99 cents, you can claim that back from them as well. Even 99 cents you can claim back. As long as it's a free tier account, they always return as much, whatever the cost is, they return it. If it's a free tier. If it's no longer a free tier account, they will never reimburse the money. If it's free tier, they will always reimburse. It was 0.99 cents for 600 hours of service. Are you kidding me? That's very less for a 600 hour service. Normally it's per hour. So, but if you got if you got 0.99 cents, it's 0.99 cents, it's okay. It doesn't really, like, you can reimburse right away. They will and it's very easy to get reimbursement. They are very professional. So Ethan says, do you know if we're able to take certification exams online, or will we have to wait for COVID restrictions to be lifted before we can start? No, you can give exam anytime right now. and you can remotely give the exam on a testing center. And when you schedule an exam on testing center, they connect to your machine and they say that turn on your camera, and then they also ask you to show your room in the camera. And after that, the software starts, exam software at home, and once that software is up, you can't really go anywhere else. You cannot click anywhere else. Second thing, if you look away from the camera, like if they see you, suspect that you're not actually looking somewhere else, they will cancel the exam right away. So many students are giving this way, thousands are giving by home. So you can give the exam at home as well, this professional exam. All right, welcome. Okay, I'll wait for those credentials you give out. Okay, sure, cool. And alright guys, if there are any questions, let me know. And already my number is there, my email is there, so you could just ask me anytime, any access to any resources, I'll just give you. Okay, so anything else, let me know. Otherwise, see you next Wednesday, 6 sharp. Alright, be safe. Thank you. See you next week. Bye bye. Thank you. Alright, have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.